Okay, so magandang araw sa inyong lahat, ABM. Okay, so ngayon naman, we're going to have a continuation of our lesson sa marketing wherein, nung nakaraan, we have discussed about the four marketing mix. And we already discussed about the product which covers the physical product that have several added components. Kasama na dito yung packaging, labeling, okay, the new product development, and then the new product development process. Ngayon naman guys is we're going to discuss about the product cost estimation. And here, according to your module, in order to determine the price of a product or service, the total cost of production must be computed. Kasi kasama po yan. Kasi once na namuhunan ka, ang unang-unang titingnan mo is the total cost ng production aside from your puhunan. 'Di ba? Kasi dito mo makikita yung costing na tinatawag. So here is a picture, there you go, gives an example of cost or product cost estimation. According to your module with physical products, there are two types of costs that are calculated. Una is yung tinatawag na unit variable cost. And then pangalawa is the unit share of operating and other expenses or what is sometimes referred as the fixed cost. Pag sinabi nating unit variable cost or variable cost, meaning to say, hindi siya, ito yung klase ng expenses na pabago-bago. Okay, let's say for example is bumili ka ng raw materials na ganito yung halaga. On the other hand, merong mga klase ng raw materials na nagbabago yung presyo. Yun yung variable cost. Okay? Yung fixed cost naman, ito yung mga binabayaran mo on the same expenses. Operating expenses po ito. Let's say, for example, yung kuryente, fixed cost po yan. Yung rent, fixed cost po yan. Yung water bill, fixed cost po yan. Okay? So, the unit variable cost would be how much it would cost for manufacture 1 unit of the product. Okay? Included na dito yung cost of direct materials, direct labor, and direct overhead. Kasama na yun sa variable cost. Now, alamin natin, ano ba yung direct materials na tinatawag? When we say direct materials, it is used in the manufacture of, let's say, t-shirt that may include the fabric, the threads, and buttons. Di ba kasi kapag bumili ka ng stocks, pag may stocks ka na, hindi ka na uulit-ulit pa ng bili niyan. Di ba? And then sa mga susunod na panahon, kapag bibili ka ulit ng stock, dahil may natira ka pa, konti na lang yung magagastos mo ulit. Example nito, if there is a 2 meters of fabric, 5 meters of thread, and 6 buttons, even 1 cardboard box for product packaging are used, these materials would cost, ito yung mga costing nila. Let's say, for example, the material fabric, it has 100 pesos per meter. Ang cost per unit niya or cost per shirt will be 200 pesos. Sa thread naman, 4 pesos per meter, 20 pesos naman ang cost per shirt nito na magagamit pag bubuo ka, 'di ba? Sa buttons, 5 pesos per piece, so 30 pesos. Sa cardboard box as a packaging, 10 pesos per piece, so 10 pesos. A total of 260 pesos for the materials of the product. Materials of the product pa lang yan. Wala pang labor cost. O ano-ano yung mga labor cost na tinatawag o yung tinatawag natin na direct labor. So, balikan natin. Pag sinabi nating direct labor, girls, this could be include the wages of all the workers that is responsible for making the t-shirt or the shirt. Example, ito po yun ha. Let's say for example, in the process of creating the product or creating the t-shirt, of course, yung fabric cutting, si magkakat, magkano ang babayaran mo sa kanya? Kaya nga kapag nananahi ka, or let's say may patahian ka, ito yung mga babayaran mo sa kanila. Kay cutter, 30 pesos per shirt. Kada cut niya, 30 pesos. Si mananahe, 25 pesos. That's sewing. Pagtahi. Collar attachment, 5 pesos. Button attachment, 5 pesos. So, total of 65 pesos. Ayan. So, if the workers are paid on a daily, weekly, or semi-monthly rate, rather on a per-piece basis, the computation of labor cost would be more complex. Meaning to say, mas mataas pa siya. Kaya mas magiging mahal yung produkto o yung t-shirt na magagawa mo. Pero kung per piece lang yung babayaran sa kanya, hindi ganon kalaki yung magiging costing nito. Kaya kung magtataka kayo, may mga klase ng t-shirt na ang mahal-mahal. Pero ang ganda ng ano niya, ang ganda ng pagkakagawa sa kanya. It is because nagbe-base sila sa costing nila. The labor cost or the direct labor and even the materials or the raw materials na kakailanganin nila. Okay? So the unit's direct overhead is the amount that was spent in the manufacturing overhead or yung tinatawag na energy, water, and other utility costs. Okay? Ulitin po ni ma'am, direct overhead, ito po yung ginagastos mo sa pagmamanufacture ng produkto. Okay? Yung mga unit direct overhead na to, these are the energy, the water, and the utility. They are the fixed cost na tinatawag. So, for every shirt produce, yan, magiging kasama yan sa sa pagko-costing ninyo. Lahat ng nagagastos mula sa raw materials hanggang sa utilities na nagagamit, hanggang sa labor cost, dapat kasama po yan sa pagpresyo o pagko-costing ninyo ng inyong produkto. So this can be computed by dividing the total factory manufacturing overhead in a month by a number of units of a shirt that is produced within the same month. So, if the total factory manufacturing overhead for a particular month is 20,000 and the total number of shirts produced within the same month is 4,000 pieces, the direct overhead cost per unit would be 5 pesos. Kasama na dito yung 20,000 divided by 4,000. Diba? So, kapag dinivide mo yung 20,000 na cost o yung nagastos ninyo sa pagpoproduce ng mga product ninyo in a month, that's 20,000 is lahat-lahat na, the fixed cost, bayad sa labor, the raw materials, at dinivide mo to sa 4,000 pieces ng t-shirt na nabuo. Ang magiging cost lang ng isang t-shirt would be 5 pesos. Isang t-shirt lang po yun. Okay? Now, paano mo siya ibibenta? So, it's up to you na kung paano mo siya ipapano. Okay? Now, the sum of the three costs, direct materials, direct labor, and direct overhead would be 65 pesos. Okay? Now, this one are the products unit variable costs. Okay? So, how much it costs to produce 1 unit of the product? It depends upon you na. So, ibig sabihin, from then on, from 5 pesos divided by, 20,000 divided by 4, ang magiging cost is 5 pesos. Kapag dinivide mo na siya, pag pinagsama-sama mo na yung 3 cost mo, direct material, direct labor, and direct overhead, papatakyan lahat ng 65 pesos na per t-shirt. Okay? Magkano mo siya ibinabagsak sa market? Minsan 120 pesos, minsan 80 pesos, minsan 150, minsan 200. So, meron ka ng triple or double the price na tinatawag. The second type of cost is a unit share or yung tinatawag na fixed cost. Kapag sinabi nating fixed cost, ito yung expenses that incurred by organization that are not related to the manufacture of the product. Included na dito yung executive and staff salary, office rental, advertising and promotion, professional fees, diba? And other similar expenses. Meaning to say, kapag sinabi nating fixed cost, ito yung mga expenses ng organization or ng business na hindi na related kay manufacturing. Okay? So, binanggit na ni ma'am kung ano-ano yung mga yon, kagaya na lamang ng bayad kay staff, bayad kay executive staff, bayad sa pag-advertise, bayad sa pagpo-promote, even the professional fees and other similar expenses is fixed cost po yun. So the total fixed cost incurred in a specific period and must be shared by all units of the product that is produced in the same period. Okay. Now, this means that if in any particular month, the t-shirt factory incurred the total fixed cost of 400,000, okay, which was able to produce 4,000 units of shirt for the same month. Okay, so anayin natin siya, i-divide natin siya, guys. Okay, so the factory was able to produce 4,000 pieces of what? 4,000 pieces of t-shirt. Tapos, yung 400,000 na yan na yung fixed cost ni company sa pagbabayad niya sa mga pasahod, sa promotions and advertising, and other expenses. So ngayon, dahil 4,000 yung nagawa, i-divide lang natin siya into 4,000 pieces na yung 400,000 na fixed cost, i-divide lang natin sa 4,000 pieces na, 4,000 pieces na nagawang t-shirt, lalabas na ang pinakang absorb niya is 100 pesos per t-shirt. Ngayon, pag-add natin si fixed cost at saka si variable cost. Ang fixed cost natin is 100 pesos. And then, variable cost na is 65 pesos. A total of what? 165 pesos po lahat-lahat ng costing natin sa paggawa ng t-shirt. Now, that is the time that you're going to, what? You're going to promote your product na and ibababa mo ito kay distributor. Ibababa mo ito kay seller. Okay. Itong 165 pesos na to, nandito na lahat, dyan na kinukuha lahat ng gastos per unit or per shirt. Kasama na yung pagbabayad natin sa mga, sa mga staff and executives. So, this 165 pesos, dadagdagan mo yan para naman may kita din si company. Hindi naman po pwedeng produce ka lang ng produce pero wala ka namang kikitain. So, let's say for example, ibabagsak mo siya, okay, sa palengke, kay reseller, kasi si 165 pesos ang overall expenses mo. So, ibabagsak mo siya kay reseller ng 200 pesos. Okay? Minus 165 as your cost per unit. So, magkano? 165. So, meron kang 35 pesos na kita kada t-shirt. I-times natin siya sa 4,000. 4,000 pieces na t-shirt, magkano ang magiging expenses mo? Magkano ang magiging profit mo? Okay, gamit ng calculator si ma'am, 35 pesos per t-shirt times 4,000 t-shirt, pag binagsak mo sa seller, meron kang 140,000 nakita sa lahat ng yan. Nakuha po? Yan, ganyan po kalaki. Yan. So ngayon guys, dito tayo guys, taking the entire costing example po. Pag pinagsama-sama mo. Ayan, direct materials 260, direct labor 65, direct overhead 5 pesos, unit fixed cost is 100. Aabot siya ng 430. 'Di ba? Lahat-lahat. Pero itong binigay ko sa inyo, ito na yung pinakang madali. Nakuha po? Okay, next one. Burahin po natin para malinawan po tayo. Paano naman po ma'am yung pricing strategy? Ito na yung binanggit ko sa inyo that you need to make a markup of your product. Okay? Number one strategy kasi yan guys is markup pricing. Pag sinabi nating markup pricing strategy, this allows the seller to have a fixed markup every time the product is being sold. Gaya ng pinakita ko sa inyong example, kung 165 pesos ang cost mo, no? 165 pesos ang cost mo sa isang t-shirt, tapos binenta mo siya ng 200 pesos, may kita ka na fixed 35 pesos per t-shirt. Pag ibinagsak mo yan kay seller ng 200 pesos, ibenta niya ng 250, yung 50 pesos na markup niya, yan na yung fix nakita niya every time na mabebenta niya yung product. Nagigets mo? Okay. So, this is an example, guys. Okay. So, this is an example of how to find and compute the markup price of the product. Okay, alamin muna natin kung ano-ano yung mga meaning netong mga abbreviation na to. Pag sinabi natin UC, unit cost. VC is variable cost per unit. And then, FC, fixed cost. And then, US is unit sales. Okay. So, for computation, let's say ang given natin, yung ating variable cost per unit is 10 pesos. Tapos, yung fixed cost per unit natin is 300,000. And then, yung unit sales natin, 50,000 per unit. Okay? Now, yung magiging direct markup mo sa lahat ng yan ay 20%. Nakuha po? Ganito po yan. I-add po natin. Yan. So, pagsama-samahin po natin siya. Ito na yung pinakang madali, guys. No? So, let's say, for example, yung unit cost natin is equals to variable cost per unit. Ito yung pinakang formula, guys. Okay, guys, ngayon papakita natin sa inyo kung paano natin kukomputin ang magiging markup ninyo per product. So, bago yan, alamin muna natin kung ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng mga variables or ng mga abbreviations na to. Like yung UC, unit cost, VC is variable cost per unit, FC, fixed cost, US, unit sales. Let's say, for example, ang given natin, ang variable cost per unit is 10 pesos. Ang FC natin is 300,000. Yung FC po is fixed cost. US is, or unit sales natin is 50,000 per unit. And then, ang magiging direct markup mo is 20%. So, paano natin makukuha yung fixed na magiging profit natin or magiging markup natin per product? Okay. So, the formula, guys, is UC is equals to VCU plus FC divided by US. Ito po yung formula, pakitandaan po. Okay? So, let's say for example, ang variable cost per unit natin is 10 pesos. Ipa-plus po natin dyan yung 300,000. Okay? And then, over 50,000. So, let's divide. Okay, divide po muna natin. 300,000 divided by 50,000. Okay, gamit lang po ng calculator si ma'am. Ayan. So, tayo ay gagamit ng calculator. So, para mas na maintindihan po natin. Okay, there you go. So, meron po tayong 300,000. I-divide po natin muna siya sa 50,000. Okay. 6. Plus, ipa-plus natin ngayon si 10 pesos. So, ngayon, meron na tayong 16 pesos na unit cost. Okay, so ngayon guys, tingnan naman natin kung paano ninyo makukuha ang markup per unit. Nakuha? So, bago po yan guys, gumamit tayo ng calculator. And, ito po ang susundin natin. Yan, itong formula na to. Markup per unit is equals to unit cost divided by 1 minus the direct markup or directed markup. Okay, gamit tayo ng calculator. So, lumabas po sa first computation natin using the formula unit cost minus VC or variable cost per unit plus fixed cost divided by unit sales. So, ngayon naman guys, that is 16 pesos. So, lagay natin si 16 pesos as your unit cost. Yan. Tapos, i-divide natin siya kay 1. Divide 1. That is 16 pa rin. And then, minus natin, 0.20. That is 20%. So, lalabas na 15.8. Diba? Hindi po 20 pesos. 15.8 ang magiging markup price mo sa bawat, t-shirt na mabebenta mo. Okay? Ngayon, kung hindi ka satisfied with the 15.08, pwede ka namang mag-fix ng 20 pesos. Nakuha po? Pwede kang mag-fix ng 20 pesos. That's the first pricing strategy. Pangalawang pricing strategy natin, guys, is yung tinatawag na target return pricing. Okay? Sa target return pricing, ito yung price method that allows a product or manufacturer to recover a certain portion of user investment every year. Okay, ano yung formula na gagamitin for the target return pricing? Ito po yun. Okay, TRF is equals to unit cost plus DR times IC divided by US. Alamin natin kung ano-ano ang ibig sabihin ng mga to. Pag sinabi nating TRP, that is target return price, UC unit cost, DR desired return, IC invested capital, and lastly US unit sales. Ang given natin guys, yung unit sales pa rin natin is 16 pesos. And then, yung direct return mo, 25%. And then, yung direct, yung IC mo or yung invested capital mo is 1 million. Wow, laki 1 million. And then, yung unit sales mo is 50,000 per unit. Okay, let's use the formula here. TRP is equals to unit cost plus direct or desired return times IC, okay, IC, invested capital, and then divided by unit sales. Okay, there you go. Now, let's see. Ang ating unit cost is 16 pesos. Ipa-plus natin si 0.25, that is your direct return or desired return. I-multiply natin yung 1 million with that direct return, and then we will divide 50,000 as your unit sales. Alamin natin paano natin to nakuha. Gamit tayo ng calculator. Okay, there you go. Okay? So, 16 pesos muna. Iyan muna natin si 16 pesos, guys. I-set aside muna natin. Dito muna tayo mag-focus. Okay? Diyan muna tayo mag-focus. 0.25. That's 25%. Okay? Your desired return. I-multiply natin siya sa 1 million na investment mo. Okay? That's 250,000. Ngayon, yung 250,000 mo, i-divide mo siya ngayon kay 50,000. 50,000. At ang lalabas dyan, 5 pesos. I-plus mo siya ngayon kay 16 pesos. At ang lalabas ay 21 pesos. So, ang target return price mo is 21 pesos per t-shirt. Nakuha po? Yun yung target mo. So, pwede mo siyang i-add ngayon. Diba? Pwede mo siyang i-add ngayon sa iyong, anong tawag dito? Sa iyong magiging t-shirt na ibebenta. Another one pricing strategy is yung tinatawag na add pricing or psychological pricing. Pag sinabi nating add pricing or psychological pricing, ito yung klase ng pricing method that premise on the theory that consumers will perceive products with add price that is ending as lower in the price than they actually are. Okay? Number 4 is the loss leader pricing. Pag sinabi nating loss leader pricing, this is a pricing strategy that frequently utilized by supermarket. Kasi gumagamit sila ng mga retailers. No? So, kumbaga, yung loss leader, kumbaga, pag i-compare mo siya, mas mababa. Dahil retailer nga, no? Kapag may mga retailer sila, may mga reseller sila, may mga retailer sila, guys, mas bumababa yung benta ng produkto. Nakuha? O kagaya na lang ng mga supermarket, yung mga, let's say, Osave. Mas mabababa yung presyo ng kanilang paninda kasi ang mga bumibili sa kanila, halimbawa na lang, no? Ang mga bumibili sa kanila is yung may mga tindahan. So, para kahit paano, yung may mga tindahan, may kitain din. Halimbawa lang po yun, guys. Pero, syempre, may mga namimili pa rin ng mga stocks lang nila sa bahay. Advantage na yun para sa kanila. Okay? Next, number 5 strategy, pricing strategies is yung tinatawag na price lining. Pag sinabi nating price lining, this involves in reducing the number of price units on merchandise to as a little possible, in extreme cases, to only one price point. Okay? Price lining meaning to say, may mas mababa pa. Okay? Yung pinakang price point ng merchandise, mas binababaan pa nila hanggat maaari. Pero, kailangan maramihan ang kuha. Diba? Dito, mas naiiwasan yung pagkakastock ng mga produkto. Kasi, mabilis na uubos. Diba? Yung mga madalas mag-expire o mabilis mag-expire na product, mabilis na pinapaubos. Binibenta nila ito at the lower possible price. Number 6 yung tinatawag nating prestige pricing. When we say prestige pricing, this regards the unit cost of a product or service and nag-charge ito ng mas mataas na presyo per unit. Diba? Yun yung tinatawag na prestige pricing. Ito yung mga malalaki at mataas ang presyo ng produkto. Ngayon, ang tinitingnan ng mga mamimili dito ngayon, guys, is the what? The value na lang. Diba? If they're going to buy a product with this prestige price, nabubulol na si Mang, ang tinitingnan na lang nila dito is the value itself. Nakuha po? Kasi, nade-disregard na yung unit cost ng isang product o kaya ng service. Ang tinitingnan na lang nila dito is the value. Diba? So, kahit mataas pa yan, basta magiging masaya ako sa service or sa product na bibilin ko, walang problema sa babayaran. Ganun ang iniisip ng mga namimili or mamimili. Diba? Another one, number 7, guys, is yung tinatawag na marginal pricing. Pag sinabi nating marginal pricing, it is where a business organization prices its product at range below its unit cost but higher than its unit variable cost. No? Mas mababa yung presyo nila sa unit cost, pero pagdating sa variable cost, tinataasan nila. Ayan, doon po sila nakabase. Ngayon sa number 8, predatory pricing. Pag sinabi nating predatory pricing, ito yung pricing strategy where the firm prices each product lower than the unit variable cost. Ito yung mga, let's say, nagkakaroon sila ng mga nagda-direct na sa mga manufacturer, nagda-direct sa mga merchandiser, di ba? Pero, nagre-result ito into short-term losses. Kasi binababaan nila ng husto, so halos wala na silang kitain. Paano naman yung pampasweldo? Paano naman yung ibang cost, yung ibang expenses? Kaya yung predatory pricing is masyadong risky pagdating sa mga nagnenegosyo. Kaya bibihira ang gumagawa nito. Karaniwang ginagawa ang predatory pricing kapag nagsisale. Kapag may mga depreciated na product. Nakuha? So, meron siyang short-term losses. May short-term losses siya, pero nadidistribute naman or naupapaubos naman yung produkto. Diba? Pero walang magagawa kapag nag-depreciate na yung product, nag-overhead na, okay? O kaya mag-expire na, kailangan nilang magbaba ng presyo. Next one, number 9 strategy is going rate pricing. Pag sinabi natin going rate pricing, this is a pricing strategy where a company price in its product at the same level as very close to its competitors' prices. Pag sinabing going rate pricing, ito yung, halimbawa, ang produkto ko ay sabon. Ang halaga ng sabon ko is 18 pesos. Yung competitor ko, para mas maging mabenta yung kanya, binabaan niya, ginawa niyang 12. Very close. 15 pesos to 12 pesos. Diba? So, very close lang yung kanilang product. So, ang tinitingnan nila dito, kailangan maging mabenta yung produkto natin. At ang tinitingnan nila dito ay yung presyo na pwedeng yun yung maging paraan nila para makuha nila ang mga mamimili. Yan po yun. Tinitingnan nila kung paano mag-pricing ang mga competitors. Okay, sa strategy na to. Number 10. Ito na yon. Ito madalas natin makita to. Diba? Yung promotional pricing. Ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng promotional pricing? Pag sinabi nating promotional pricing, this is a pricing strategy that involves a temporary reduction of the product. Kasi in promotion pa lang. In order for the company to encourage a repeat purchase ng kanilang produkto, is binababaan muna nila ang presyo nito kasi pinopromote pa lang nila. But once na makita nila na nag-take off yung product at makita nila na in demand na to, that is the time na magtataas na sila ng presyo. Got it? Okay. So, those are the 10 pricing strategies na pwede nating sundan kapag nag-start na tayo ng business. So, when new products are introduced into the market, one of the two following pricing strategies can be used. Okay. Number 1, yung tinatawag nating price skimming. Pag sinabi nating price skimming, this is where the product selling price is way above its unit cost. Okay? Halimbawa, ang unit cost mo ay 16 pesos, gagawin mo siyang 20 pesos. Yun yung tinatawag na price skimming. Nagdadagdag ka. Okay? Sa mga tindahan, karaniwan ganyan ang ginagawa nila. Let's say, for example, si nanay may tindahan, bumili ng sardinas, ang unit cost nito, or ang bili niya dito is, let's say, for example, is 18 pesos lang. Dadagdagan niya to ng 4 pesos para may tubo siya. Got it? Sumunod naman, number 2 is the penetration pricing. Pag sinabi nating penetration pricing, this is a pricing strategy where the new product is priced only marginally above its unit. Okay? That is the penetration pricing na tinatawag. So, now, dito naman tayo sa pricing strategy selection. Pag sinabi nating pricing strategy selection, this is the choice of pricing strategy that depends almost exclusively on a company's objective. Okay. So, nakabase siya sa objective ng company. Okay. So, these are the variables in pricing objective. Number 1, yung maximum revenue. Siyempre, hindi ka naman gagawa ng produkto o magnenegosyo nang wala kang makukuhang revenue or kita. Diba? So, ano-ano ang mga strategy na po pwede mong gawin para makuha mo si maximum revenue? Number 1, yung tinatawag na penetration pricing. Diba? Okay, na-discuss natin na pag sinabi nating penetration pricing, this is what? Pag sinabi nating penetration pricing, this is a pricing strategy where the new product is marginally priced. Diba? Next one, marginal pricing. Pag sinabi nating marginal pricing, para makuha mo yung maximum revenue mo, pag sinabing marginal pricing, ito yung pwede kang magpresyo according to the range ng product mo ng mas mababa pa sa unit cost. Pero syempre, tataasan mo yung variable cost. Okay? Yung going rate pricing, pwede rin to, pero pwedeng mag-cost sa'yo ng short-term losses lang naman. Diba? And lastly is the promotional pricing. Yan. These are the pricing strategy na pwede mong gamitin for you to get your maximum revenue. Eh kung ang pricing objective mo is market share or maximum, nabubulol na ako, maximum market share. Ano ang mga pricing strategy na pwede mong sundin? Wait lang, burahin ko lang to para hindi kami malito. Okay. So this one, penetration pricing. Pwede rin marginal pricing, pwede rin going rate pricing, and lastly is promotional pricing. Okay? Next one, if your objective is to maximum profit. Yung as in may kita na may profit ka na talaga, yung tubo mo na talaga yung kukunin mo. Eh di mag-price scheming ka. From then, kapag nag-price scheming ka, alam mo na kung magkano ang tubo mo sa kada isang unit ng product na ibebenta mo. Or pwede rin naman prestige pricing. Double the price, triple the price, di ba? Pwede po yun. Pag ang objective mo ay maximum profit, ha? Eh, paano naman kung ang objective mo is survival lang? Eh, di mag-marginal pricing ka, di ba? Konting tubo, masaya ka na. Gusto nyo ba yun? Okay? So, these are some of the pricing strategy selections na pwede nyo gawin once you look at the objective of your business. Okay? So, hanggang dito na lang po muna yung lesson natin sa ating Marketing 1-to-1. Sa susunod guys, we're going to discuss naman about the place, part of the 4 P's of marketing. Okay? So, there you go. If you have any questions regarding our topic, you can send the message sa GC natin. And of course, I will give you your activity later. For that guys, thank you very much for participating in our lesson and hope you got a jot down para meron po kayong ma-review sa ating exam. So, thank you very much everyone. Have a nice day and ciao, bye!